current popular music, whether it be country, hip-hop, pop, or rock, bass frequencies are seemingly front and center constantly. But the problem is, few stand-mount speakers can deliver anything close to what is in the music. If you're searching, I may have the answer. Stay tuned. Hi again, everyone. Mark from Audio Pursuit. Before I get started, time to make the FCC happy. I received the Buchardt P300 speakers after an email exchange with Mads Buchardt. I was not compensated in any way for this review, and no one from Buchardt saw the video before it going live on YouTube. If you went to college in the 1970s to about 2000, and you lived in a dorm, you experienced the stereo wars, whereby each male dorm room that had a system would blast out the music every afternoon. The purely loudest went to the guy with the Sirwin Vegas, as they were quite efficient and designed to play loud. In later years, with the rise of rap and hip-hop, bass wars reigned. While today most music listening is done via earbuds or headphones, except when driving, there is still plenty of runway for home audio systems for the average consumer. The key is getting younger consumers to want such a setup, albeit in a smaller package, yet with big sound and without taking away their daily coffee budget. Numerous manufacturers are adopting the smaller form factor for components using Class D amplification and some form of streaming. The missing ingredient has been smaller speakers that could deliver the bass. Enter Bukart Audio. With the success of the small but nearly full-sounding S400 Mark IIs, owner Mads Buchardt recognized the need for an economical model that fit the music that younger listeners enjoyed, and that would create brand loyalty. Thus, the P300 was born. In order to be efficient, the Bukart team used the same MDF cabinet, tweeter, and passive radiator. Veneer wood choices were eliminated, instead offering currently just two matte paint finishes, white or black. The 6-inch paper driver is new, using a shorter extension or stroke and regular proportion motor. The not-so-secret weapon in the Bukart recipe is a passive radiator. This allows them to move a lot of air, which translates to bass that's deeper and more impactful than you'd expect from a speaker this size. The crossover is where Bukart found significant savings. However, they did stick with Janssen brand resistors and air core inductors and other components and avoided Sandcaster resistors altogether. To Mads' credit, he admits that the binding posts are just standard level in order to keep the overall price within the targeted price point of about $1,560 for the pair, with fast shipping from Denmark. The review pair arrived in just 4 days. Let's get to the sound. With comparisons to the S400 Mark IIs, the P300s have a youthful sound. That means the bass is somewhat aggressive and punchy, though in reality not as detailed or as deep as their older siblings. Since I felt like the P300s are targeted for younger buyers, I accepted the recommendation of a former student on some hip-hop tracks, along with others. These speakers can handle the complex bass lines of a track like DNA by Kendrick Lamar without losing their composure. The mid-frequencies are a bit hidden by the bass when listening to multiple instruments, but with just one or two acoustical instruments, the mids have a slightly warm presentation. though not with the overall character and detail of the S400 Mark IIs and the superior level of matching Jansen crossover parts. The same holds true with the high frequencies. The P300 has a bit more edge and less refinement. Once again, the crossover components are the key difference. The P300s, to my ears, even with the caveats above, have a serious sense of clarity in their presentation. They're not overly bright, and beyond the healthy bass, they're not muddy or veiled. They just present the music in a way that's engaging. Mid-range vocals have a presence and clarity that's captivating. When I was listening to Billie Eilish's Bury a Friend, her voice was right there in the room, intimate and detailed, with the subtle nuances of the recording coming through. Taking in the intricate electronic textures in a track like Midnight City by M83, the P300s rendered the shimmering synthesizer and driving beat with both precision and spaciousness. One of the things that really stands out with the P300s is their soundstage. I did find that my 11 by 10 foot room, they like being closer to the sidewalls than I expected, just 11 inches in. From the front wall, out 29 inches. They create a wide and deep soundstage that makes you feel like you're in the middle of the performance. When listening to a well-recorded live track, like Skinny Love by Bon Iver, the P300s placed the instruments and vocals in a believable acoustic space, creating a sense of immersion. Beyond the S400 Mark IIs, I did side-by-side comparisons with two models. The Totem Acoustic Rainmakers, at approximately $1,300 a pair, have that open, sparkly top end that the P300s don't. Of course, the opposite being true with the bass. The P300s win that, hands down, and it truly is not close. Imaging is very good with both, while I found the P300s to be more detailed and richer. The LSA Signature 80 at $1,200 a pair. The upper frequencies are laid back or softer than the P300, giving the mid-range a bigger presence. While the bass is more dynamic than Rainmakers, it's still no match for the P300. Finally, I thought the P300s deserved some time with my simple 2.0 home theater setup. With their bass response and upper mid clarity, the speakers proved to be a notable choice. Playing my reference test movie, Runaway Train, with John Voight and Eric Roberts, the deep growl of the locomotive stayed separate from the vocal track, providing clear dialogue without having to adjust the volume. After finishing the rough draft of my review, I watched what other reviewers had to say about the P300s. Steve Huff was enamored by them. He saw great value and a true emotional connection. Though I do have to wonder if his listening space has a concrete floor, as he didn't mention the intensity of the bass frequencies. On the other hand, my friend Sean Fowler of Zero Fidelity was quite blunt in his critique, finding fault in the bass being too much. As previously said, the P300s are targeted to younger buyers, though anyone who loves a healthy bass will find happiness. That's why I went back and edited out songs from my generation and focused only on the tracks mentioned above that the 35 and younger crowd would best connect with in this review. Now, let's talk amplification. The P300s are not the most sensitive speakers out there, so you want to pair them with an amplifier that has some good quality current. But if you do, They will reward you with a dynamic and expressive performance. They scale well with better equipment, so you won't feel the need to upgrade your speakers as you improve the rest of your system. My reference Galleon TS-A75 solid-state amp, as usual, provided everything that I wanted. The Peachtree GAN 400 Class D, I believe, will find favor with those looking for a slightly tighter bass and more sparkly top end. For the vacuum tube crowd out there, the amplification is going to be the most room specific based on the bass warmth and bloom. In conclusion, the Bukart P300s are a speaker that offers a level of performance that's rare at their price point. They're balanced, detailed, and engaging. And they can handle a wide range of musical genres with ease. In addition, they form a truly worthy home theater setup. If you're looking for a pair of bookshelf speakers that deliver the high-end sound without the high-end price, the P300s are definitely worth checking out. Since Buchardt is a direct-to-customer company, they are a fine value, and they'll provide you with years of listening pleasure. So take advantage of the 45-day listening time. And if I wasn't spoiled by the S400 Mark IIs, I'd buy them. So if you were raised in the hip-hop rap era, or your parents looking for speakers that will make their teens' entertainment space fun, the Buchardt P300s make a first-rate choice. Thanks again for watching, everybody. And once again, turn off the social media, turn on the music, and let's enjoy life. Take care.